Hi everyone, it's James here. Welcome back to the channel and another instalment of recent spins. I missed a month because my record player was in for a service, much needed service. That went pretty okay, a couple of gremlins, but we sorted it out in the end, and it's great to have it back. And it's interesting when you have been without your deck for a while, it's interesting when you get it back, you know, what are the records that you immediately seem to gravitate towards. And what I found throughout the month of August was that I was being drawn towards listening to noisy records at very loud volumes, and I was thinking about calling this this video the While the Cat's Away recent spins, because these are records that I would never get away with playing in the house if there's anybody else in. There's no point listening to any of them quietly, they're all quite noisy records. So I waited until I had the house to myself to play each of these and whacked up the volume and had a great time doing it. So thought that would make quite a fun update, so I'll quickly guide you through some of the stuff that got on the turntable once that repair job had been done. I purged a load of records recently, and this one was in the to-go pile, and the reason for that really was that I hadn't listened to it for a long time, and I think I was getting it mixed up in my mind with a different record that I had by Link Wray. But I played this one, and this is a great record. It's a live album. It's called Link Wray at the Paradiso. So this is recorded live at the Paradiso, Amsterdam, August the 24th to the 25th, 1979, with the Mirror Sound mobile studio, and it's a great big noisy beast of a record. It's a live set, so you've got the audience in there. A really great live album, actually. The cover just about sums it up, you know, black leather kind of music, dirty, oily, very loud, obstreperous guitar. Mainly instrumental, I think maybe all instrumental in fact. It's got versions of Blue Suede Shoes, Money, Shake, Rattle and Roll, Bebop Paloola, a live version of his classic track Rumble. You know, I mean, Link Wray, one of the great all-time American instrumental musicians, and I'm really pleased that I didn't get rid of this. It's a trio performance. Anton Fig on drums. Now, he went on to play with all sorts of people, didn't he? I can't think of who, but Anton Fig definitely became quite a big name later on. Jimmy Lowell on bass guitar. So yeah, really enjoyed this one. Very pleased that I didn't purge it. Therein lies a lesson: don't purge records until you've spun them again at least once. But yeah, Link Wray live at the Paradiso, great fun. The next day, another record that I'd been considering purging just because I hadn't listened to it for a long time and I didn't really remember much about it. And again, good job I didn't, because this is a really great record. This is the Pink Fairies. It's a compilation album taking in, I think, their first 3 albums, and they were a bit of an alternative-y, underground, garage rock punk band, really, from the late 1960s. Did a lot of free concerts, you know, the same kind of Hawkwindy sort of mentality, but more garage rock than them. They were a trio, but their lineup kept changing all the time. In fact, they had a lineup even before their first record was recorded, featuring Mick Farron. He was the original guitarist. Steve Peregrine Took, of course, who later was in T-Rex or Tyrannosaurus Rex, and the drummer Twink, who I know later on played with Syd Barrett. But that lineup didn't actually survive. I think you can always trace there's one member common to each lineup, but there was a lot of chopping and changing. Anyway, and then after this, they went on and did a long run of records, all with different lineups. So quite an interesting history, really. But the Pink Fairies, noisy, garage rock. I can't think of a better description than that, really. Street Urchin, Chromium Plating, Well, 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 the track on side 1 there, which is a cover version, I think. Mixture of originals and covers, but great fun. Yeah, great stuff. The Pink Fairies, really enjoyed that. And then that one got me thinking about this one, which I suppose maybe because it's a 3-piece again and also has a bit of that garage rock kind of sound. I suppose it is quite similar in a way. This is the Groundhogs and Split, which I thought was their debut record, but I don't think it is. I think it's I don't know, maybe the third or the fourth or something like that. So this bunch, I think, were from London. Tony McPhee, the lead guitar player and singer. Noisy garage rock, bluesy in places. Side 1 just contains 4 tracks, each of which I just called Split. Split part 1, part 2, part 3, and then part 4. All good. Side 2 starts with a really rollicking track called Cherry Red. A couple of slightly boring songs after that, and then it finishes with Groundhog, the last song, which is a bit of a John Lee Hooker style blues, knees up really. Again, a really, really great band with a long history, big long discography, and this is the only record by them. I've seen them in the wild, but they can be a little bit pricey. This one I bought from a guy who was advertising chunks of his record collection for sale on a supermarket notice board. Good stuff. The Groundhogs, would like to find more of their stuff. As I said, can be a little bit pricey, but I think I'm assuming that this is a reissue because of the rock file thing on there. And then finally, this one, I had it in my mind as being a noisy record, but it was actually far less noisy than I remembered, far more musical, far more kind of nuanced really. I thought I would give this an outing, which I hadn't listened to for absolutely ages. Bitches Brew by Miles Davis, a record that I've never actually owned on CD, and I'm guessing that this is a later reissue because it's not a gatefold. This is a record which I always used to struggle to get through because I found side 2 rather hard work. Side 2, it's a bit stoppy and starty. And I persevered this time, and the second 2 sides don't put a foot wrong really. It gets quite noisy towards the end of side 4, but other than that, it's not as hard blowing as I remembered. It kind of ebbs and flows. You know, it's early classic American fusion really, or a mixture of American and British fusion. John McLaughlin on guitar, Lenny White on drums, a big roll call of musicians on here, but it was the record he did, I think, after In a Silent Way, and it was his first proper foray into trying to meld rock and jazz, and sounds really good. This is a really nice copy. As I said, I think it's a reissue, 1970 on CBS, and has no inserts or anything. I'm guessing that I'm missing something here because I would imagine it would have been a gatefold with all sorts of information, but I don't really get anything on this other than the pictures. But yeah, really, really enjoyed it, and it's reminded me I need to make a date with the Miles collection and delve back in, because it's been quite a long time since I listened to any Miles Davis. Noisy spins for August. Hope you enjoyed the selection. I'll be back soon. Take care. Bye for now.